Hello everyone, it's lovely to have you back with me. It's Sunday morning at about 11 o'clock on a beautiful warm sunny day. It's absolutely gorgeous outside. Birdies are singing and the cicadas are chirping and my washing's drying and it's just a beautiful day. And we're in the kitchen again, but this time what I've done is I've set Lottie up on the change table, and onto the change table I just put this beautiful quilt that I bought a long time ago, probably about 11 years ago, before Oscar was born, my first grandchild. I bought it because I fell in love with it. I saw it in a shop. It is actually made in France. I'm just fiddling with the camera, as you can see, because it always annoys me how as soon as it turns on it changes and it's not quite central. So Kimberly will understand what I'm annoyed about. It's just not exactly right, but I don't think it's going to stay exactly right. So I'll stop fiddling and I'll tell you that I'm Suzanne from Baby Bunting Nursery, and I'm showing you my darling Lottie, who is on the change table on this beautiful French quilt, which is double-sided. I'll just show you what the back is like. It's just ticking. It's gorgeous, isn't it? It's in a like a creamy oatmeal sort of colour, and the back's got the ticking blue stripes on it, and the front is that, I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's like, I hate to even butcher it, a twile or toil, or I don't know how you say it, pattern. Hopefully you know what I'm talking about. It's in, so the background is cream again, and the pattern is in a different shades of blue. Some parts are slightly darker, and it shows different scenes. There's flowers, there's children playing, and it's like looking like antique pictures. It's gorgeous. But do you know what? I never actually got to use it with any of the babies, because back in the day, quilts were, when my children were small, and even later than that, quilts were like fantastic in winter to put over your baby in the cot. But then times changed and loose blankets weren't considered safe anymore, so I never really got to use it. I just kept it because it's beautiful. So that's what Lottie is on, and she is, let me tell you what she's wearing, because this is another of my favourite outfits. Every time I dress her, it's a new favourite outfit. So she's wearing a navy blue headband with a bow on it, and it's fairly small and delicate. It's just right for her. Brings out the blue in her eyes. Actually, she's surrounded by blue, isn't she? So that's starting at the top of her little head. And then she has on a white bodysuit which has a white ruffle collar, puff sleeves, and very little picot edges around the sleeves. On top of that, she's wearing a romper, which is one of my most favourite rompers. I have lots of rompers because they're my favourite things on babies. I love to see the legs, and I love the loose fitting style of a romper. And this one has got buttons down the front, very small white buttons, which actually I didn't have any trouble doing up. So that was a nice change. And the actual romper itself is a tiny gingham check, very, very small check in a mid blue and white. And around the edges of the romper, around the sleeve, which it's not, there are no sleeves, it's sleeveless. There is a white rickrack, and it looks really cute. And also that same white rickrack is around the leg openings. So the whole thing is very cute, and she looks fantastic. She's got a doll sitting with her. It's a cloth doll, and it's a new one, well, maybe a few years old, that I bought, because there are some toys that I keep on the change table for when we were changing the babies, so that to keep them distracted. So there's all sorts of things on there, but this doll is one of the things that I keep there. I probably won't have the change table for much longer. I really don't need it anymore, so that will be a bit sad that I don't need it. But I've actually also just recently sold the cot that was in the playroom, because my youngest grandchild is 4, and even if I get another grandchild, which I might do at some stage, for the number of times that I would need the cot, we could always just bring a portable cot over, borrow it from someone. So there was no point really keeping the cot in the room. So it takes up a lot of space. It was very handy for putting things in. You know, there were stacks of baby blankets and toys in there. But in the place where the cot was, I've now got a beautiful set of white IKEA drawers. I think in many other countries you call them dressers. We call them chests of drawers. And so that's been very handy. I haven't completely organised it yet, but I've had fun doing it. And in the meantime, I've gone through Lottie's clothes. So it's been really, really fun to do that. And also, I mean, if you don't have a baby, you don't really need a change table. So I thought I would make good use of it today. So there's Lottie, but there is something I haven't described to you today, which was a real, absolute revelation for me, and it's her little shoes. They're gold, and they're Mary Jane shoes, and there's a little bow at the front. They're leather, and they're that brand Tiptoey Joey. That company and the designs for the shoes is Australian, but the shoes are actually made in Brazil. And the amazing part of these shoes is that they're a size 14, and that's the size that I buy for the twins. It's the size that I bought for Suzanne of Suzanne's Babies. I bought shoes for her twins as well in a 14, because those twins are only, I think they're about 17 or 17 and a half inches, and they're very small twins, and they fit into these shoes. But guess what? So does Lottie. I couldn't believe it. I was just having fun trying different shoes on her, because I thought I'd put shoes on for a change. And most of Lottie's shoes are 15. She's got a couple of 16s. And I find with the 15s, they're fine with a sock underneath. They're a bit wider than these little tiny shoes, but the length is okay with the 15s. They're just, made for really chubby babies, I think. Or maybe they just do that so they fit all babies. But these tiny size 14s fit her perfectly. I've got the straps done up at the side, and the shoes are just perfect on her. There wouldn't be room for socks, I don't think, unless they were very thin socks. But the length is great. She's even got a bit of wriggle room in the front. So I just wanted to tell you all that, and to actually sort of talk about the size of our dolls' feet, because they're never really in proportion, are they? I mean, they look fine. It's only when you try to put shoes on them that you come unstuck. It's very hard to find shoes that are the right size. I do have a few size 0 shoes that are very small, but they're not leather, and they're fabric ones, and they fit her okay. So that you can occasionally find the right size shoe, but it isn't easy. And I love tiny baby leather shoes, so that's mostly what I've got for Lottie. But I was so shocked last night when I put these on, and they absolutely fitted her. I thought, oh, these won't be any good, but why not just try for fun? And they're absolutely perfect on her feet. So I tried the other shoes that I have for the twins, for Pippa and Jonty as well, in this brand, this Tiptoey Joey size 14, and they fitted just the same as these. I chose these gold ones just because, I don't know, I just thought they were really cute. The other pair, I've got a white pair, and I've got a pink pair that I've had on the twins before, but the twins have, not the twins, because I wouldn't put these on Jonty, but Pippa hasn't had a turn of these, so they're new, and, well, new as in unused yet, and so Lottie's having a turn. So what do you think about that? Imagine a 22-inch doll in a size 14 shoe, and it actually fits. So it sort of shows that the feet are small, doesn't it? That they sculpt the feet very small, which is quite frustrating for us shoe lovers, and I know there's tons of us out there. I'm not the only one. I love her bare feet too, but I also love little shoes and any excuse to put them on. She's got a couple of pairs of boots that are bigger, and they look perfect on her because you don't see that they're loose, because the whole foot's covered up. So they don't matter so much with size as these little Mary Jane style shoes. So how about that, guys? A size 14 on a big 22-inch doll, and they fit perfectly. And so that completes what Lottie's wearing today. hope you like it. I love it. Absolutely love it. I love this whole outfit. And every time I dress her, I think I'm never going to be able to change her out of it. And that's how I feel at the moment. But then, when I go through her outfits and I'll find something else, I'll be able to change her, I'm sure. But I would love to leave her in this for a few days, so I think I'll do that. Today, it's a fabulous day. I'm going to be painting the doll that I told you about all day, and that's just my idea of heaven. I can't wait to get in there and get going, which I'll do while this is uploading. But the mummy of that doll has said that I can show some work in progress shots. So I'll do that. Probably in my next video I'll be able to do that. And you'll see it's actually a phoenix kit, and I love the face. It's so cheeky. It's just so cheeky, and it's got beautiful moulding on the face. Not just the smile, but the way the eyes are smiling, and there's dimples in the cheeks, and it's fabulous. I love it. So I'm up to doing some detail work now. I've got the skin tone right. I'm happy with that. And I found a different way of doing veins. I've done it on Lottie, and I really like it. It's much, much, much more subtle than just drawing lines and making them look as though they're under the skin. It's much more subtle than that, and I really like it, because not all babies have visible veins. I mean, some do and some don't. So that's what I've done on this new baby, just this subtle way of doing veins, which is just fantastic. So you just get, you can see blue under the skin, but it's not really obvious in lines. So I've got the basic skin tones. It's taken tons of layers until I'm happy, but I've learnt not to rush when I'm doing the dolls. Sometimes I think, let me just heat set that, and then I can get on with the next layer. But I've learnt when I do that I'm never as satisfied. I want to get it just right. So that's what I've been doing. I've been adjusting and readjusting and adding a bit more and taking a bit more off and doing all that stuff. So now I get up to the exciting part, which is the creasing and the blushing. I love doing that because everything comes to life in front of your very eyes. So that's what I'll be doing today. And in my next video, hopefully there'll be enough for you to see that I've done something, and I'll show you then. I'm not keen on showing work in progress shots when you can't see that anything's happened, because I always think you get the wrong impression of the baby, and I only want people to have the right impression of the baby. So that's what I'll be hopefully showing you next time. Is there anything else I wanted to tell you? Oh yes, there is something else I wanted to tell you. And it's a bit silly because I'm only a very small channel, but I would like to recommend a channel that's much bigger than me that you may not have come across yet, or you may have. And it's a wonderful woman called Lulu, and her channel is called Strawberrymoonreborns. It's all one word. And her videos are just so wonderful. She's got a lot of beautiful dolls, and she loves buying them outfits, and she dresses them. She has very little sight, and I just am amazed by her ability in dressing her dolls, because she picks the hardest outfits. And I sit there, because for me, with only being able to use one hand, it always is a consideration, the outfit. And I sit on the edge of my seat almost watching Lulu struggle with these unstretchy jeans, and you know how hard that is to get on our dolls if the fabric doesn't stretch, and if it's denim jeans, wow. So she picks that, and then she picks long sleeve tops, and they need a long sleeve, something else to go over it, because she picks beautiful outfits. You will love them. And so yes, I sit thinking, oh Lulu, why did you pick that? It's so hard. But she just chooses the most gorgeous outfits and is determined to manage. And she does. She's fabulous. It's just me who worries for her, but she doesn't worry for herself. She's really good. And she has a wonderful husband called Mr. B, and he comes in on some of her videos, and sometimes he gets into trouble from Lulu because he might want to say the wrong thing, and she stops him. But he's gorgeous. He's so wonderful. They're just a fabulous pair, and you'll really enjoy her channel. And recently she's had a very unhappy box opening, and she contacted the seller. She didn't want her money back because she actually loves the kit and the doll, but she was basically, I would say, tricked. The seller said she's a master artist. Well, I don't think she used that term. I think she called herself a very experienced artist, but the doll was not painted properly. The varnish wasn't applied properly. It wasn't even over the whole doll. And the filling was really, the head was virtually empty. I think it was empty. And the body's just got some loose, crunchy stuff in the bottom of it. So Lulu paid good money for that doll, and after she contacted the seller said, well, send it back to me, I'll have it back. Which, strangely enough, was written all over the box. It had return to sender written all over the box before they even opened it. That's how it arrived. So it was very odd. But anyway, so Lulu said, well, no, I don't want to return it. I will get him fixed up, stripped off and fixed up. That's what I'd like to do. And so then the seller got very defensive and aggressive towards Lulu and threatened her not to say where the doll came from, and rang her many times and sent her a lot of texts and emails. And Lulu wasn't going to do anything about it, and then she thought more about it and thought, well, I would like to help other people to know who not to buy from. So you can have a look, and she does mention the seller's name. She's not angry or mean or anything. It's just to be honest. And I think if more of us did that, there would be fewer people who could get away with these tricks, because it's very nasty to do that. Very, very nasty. And I don't think it's right. I think it's actually immoral. I think it's bordering on criminal behaviour if you do that to someone. It's not right. And yeah, anyway, you all know how I feel about that. You know how important it is for me that people are happy with their babies. I think this is not just like selling a teapot to someone. This is a very emotional experience when you send a baby off to someone. It's more than just an inanimate object. It's a lot more than that. Otherwise we wouldn't all be doing it, would we? We wouldn't all be collecting these things. They are gorgeous, but they carry a lot with them. And so I think to be tricked when you buy something is pretty cruel. So anyway, yeah, go across and have a look at Lulu's channel, Strawberrymoonreborns. She's very entertaining. She does all sorts of interesting things. You'll have to go and see what you think. But I really enjoy her and her husband and her babies and her outfits, her tricky outfits that she buys. So go across and have a look at her. If you don't already, you may already be sub to her, because she's great. So I think that really might be all, and if I finish now I can start painting for the day, can't I? So I'd love to do that. So thank you, everyone. I did tell you about the doll, didn't I? Goodness me, I haven't got a brain today. But yes, thank you everyone for coming to visit us, my little girl and me. It's lovely to have you here, and I love making videos because it gives me a great excuse to decide what Lottie's, I nearly called her Hattie, what Lottie's going to wear next, and also to tell you about this amazing shoe discovery. They are very hard to get, a size 14 shoe. I mean, who else makes them? I don't know if there is another brand that goes that small. There might be Spanish brands. It's possible, but I haven't seen them. And so yeah, size 22-inch doll with a tiny weeny microscopic shoe on that fits perfectly. Yeah. Okay, I won't go over again everything I've already said. That's really crazy, Suzanne. Stop it now and say goodbye. So I will say goodbye to everyone, and take care, everyone. Be kind to each other, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.